Hello guys, so welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to this first live on data science series using Python. So this will be a regular series on Python. Then we will start first with Python, then go with other subjects, and we will complete it in with machine learning. And this will be a regular classes on every weekends and at the same time 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. So we have waited long. Let's start with the session itself. So first of all, let me give you an agenda for today's session. So we are going to start with understanding what is Python and why we need Python. Then we will go along with um, what is basically different type of data structures that are available in Python. Then what are the various basic commands, and then we will talk about the list. So lists are basically your data structure, and maybe it is also known as object. So we will try to learn about this also, and finally you guys will solve some problems along with me. So this is the agenda for today. Now let's get started with what is Python. Now before I start my session on Python, I just wanted to know that how many of you know what is Python, or maybe you have worked on Python in your classes, maybe in your career, also in your maybe office. So how many of you know about Python? You can reply me on the chat section. Okay, so you are saying me. Okay, so let me give you an introduction to Python, because there may be some folks who haven't done anything around Python. Okay, so Python is basically a very popular, powerful programming language, and the reason it is very popular is because of its simplicity. So it's very simple. It's very simple to read. It is very simple to even code, and another thing is the availability in various platforms. So you can use Python in various platforms, plus you can use Python for different applications. So I have listed down applications over here. You can see that Python can be used for even data science, game development, web development, and many more. So Python has a great amount of application over various industries, and again, since it is simple, since it is easy, since it is very powerful, it is like one language that you can learn, and you can work on your various applications. So that is the reason your Python is a very popular language. Now the other advantage that comes with Python is it is a interpreter language. Now a interpreter language is one such language that doesn't require you to compile your code. So if I talk about, let's say, Java, now when you write code on Java, you will be required to first of all compile the code, and once you compile the code, then you can execute it. Now in case of Python, you can directly run the code. So write the code and run it. So that is one advantage with Python, that you don't need to compile it and then run it, and that's the reason Python is known as the interpreter language. When I talk about applications, the major application is around data science, and this is the area of focus that we will learn in this series. So there are various packages also that are available for free. Again, just to tell you, Python is an open source language. You don't need to buy this software. You don't need to basically do some, like you don't need to buy this software from anywhere. You can just simply download it from its website, and it is an open source available platform. So since this is an open source platform, there are variety of packages that are available. Now what is a package? So a package is nothing but a code file, or the set of codes that are pre-written. that are pre-written for a, for a application, for an application. So these are already available on the PyPip website, which is nothing but a functionality to load any package or to install any package. So we will learn about it, don't need to worry. But just to tell you that Python provides a huge library of this pre-written packages which can be used for multiple applications. So if I talk about data science, we have some packages that are known as like we have what is known as sklearn, or formerly known as scikit-learn. We also have what is known as pandas. Then we have what is known as numpy. Similarly, for game development we have pygame, and then for web development we have Django. So Django, and we have what is known as your so with Django we have so like I remember Django only, but there are multiple more packages that are available with this for this application, which is web development. So this is one of the major advantage that you have with Python. Now I will not waste much of the time in this series, this particular slide. So I will just go to this slide. So here comes the reason why we should learn Python. Python is, first of all, if you can see this particular graph, you can see how the demand is increasing for Python developers or Python practitioner. So if you look at here, this is for 2017, this is for 2018, this is for 2019, and finally you have 2020. So you can see how the graph is increasing. It is like it's having upward trend. So that basically means, and you can see that this is the highest for any other programming language. So in 2020, Python is the most demanded skill in Indeed.com. So I don't think we need any other reason to learn Python. We can learn Python because we have the most number of jobs that are available in market. Okay. So again, let's talk more application, like more reasons why to learn Python. I have 2 more slides, so don't need to worry. We will just finish it off and we will go to coding part. So don't need to worry. So Python is a very simple, like English-like language, which is having a very simple code construct. So if you wanted to print something, you just say print and something. So this is very simple, like what you say in your day-to-day life is the same way you code in Python. That's one of the major advantage you have with Python. Python can run on various platforms that I have already told you: Windows, Mac, Linux, and so on. Python requires less line of code. Now if you look at this particular figure, this is a command to read a file in Java, and this is a command to read a file in Python. Now you can see that what is the difference between both the things. Here you have about 18 lines, and here you have only 4 lines, including 1 space. So you can see that there is a major difference in the number of lines that are required to write one simple thing of just reading a file. So that is another advantage you have with Python. Now I have already talked about this, which is a huge set of open source libraries for various applications. And if you wanted to do something, let's say if you wanted to work on game development, you have the libraries. You don't need to write the code from scratch. You can use the library, and that is a major advantage. So even when we will talk about machine learning, you will find that we have a set of various libraries that can make our task very easier, and we don't need to code everything from scratch. Now how we can install Python? So since we are learning Python for data science, Anaconda is one of the software that comes with Python and all other packages. Now Anaconda is nothing but it is a software, or we also call it as a distribution, that comes with your Python 3.x, and plus all other data science based packages. Data science based packages. So if you install Anaconda, you don't need to worry about installing each package individually. You can install everything at one shot. Just install Anaconda and you will be having all the packages and all the even Python, everything will be available to you in your local system. Now there is one more advantage with Python, is that Google has created a open source web platform known as Google Colab. Now this Google Colab is a open source web platform where you can write your Python code and you can work on your machine learning projects. Now both the things, like either you can go with your Python in your local system. So this is local system which you will need to set up into your local system, or either you can use this online platform. And again, both of them are free, so everything is free. This is free and this is free. You don't need to pay anything. Using Google Colab, you get something around 12 GB of RAM and about 400 GB of disk space. So that is another advantage using Google Colab. If you are running on a machine learning project, you require some good amount of processing power, and Google Colab is one such website that can help you with that. Okay, so I will for this particular thing, I have created one video and that is available in my platform. So I will not talk about it, but I will just show you the website Anaconda so that I can help you with the guiding installing process. I will also show you this so that you guys can set up this Google Colab also. So let's get started with the first talking about how to install, or maybe how to go with Anaconda installation. So if you wanted to install Anaconda, you will be required to go to this, what is known as Anaconda Python. And you can go to this individual edition. Now over here, if you go to and click on download, you can find out that it is available for Windows, Mac OS and Linux, and you can choose any one downloader according to your system requirement. So you can either go with this 64-bit. So my system is a 64-bit, so I will download this. And once you are downloaded, you just need to set up it, and that's very simple. Like, you don't need to worry about it. So this is how you can download Anaconda. Now those who haven't downloaded or set up Anaconda, what they can do, because we are going to code and you guys need to code along with me. So go to your Google Colab. So to open your Google Colab, click on this drive. So just go to your Google account and click on this drive, and from there click on this plus sign and click on this more icon. You have this more. So, and after clicking on more, you need to connect, you need to go to this connect more app. And once you get this particular screen, you need to search for Colab. So you will get collaboratory. Just click over here and then just install this. So after you click on this icon, you will get the option to install it. I have already installed it. So this is already installed for me, but you can click on install. Once you are done with this, you can close it and you can go to this plus sign. You can go to this more, and then you can launch your Google Collaboratory. Okay, so once you launch this Google Collaboratory, uh, it will look something like this. So it will take some time to launch, because again this is a web based platform, so it will take some time to launch. Now this notebook will be available into your Google Drive, so you don't need to worry saving this notebook. It is automatically saved by default in your Google Drive. Okay, so now you can change the name of this Python file. So let's name it as something Day-1, and now you can click on this connect. Now once you click on this connect, it will connect to you the server. Okay, so I will just click on connect, so that it can allocate me some RAM and some disk space, using which I can work on my my command line. So it is connecting and initializing, and it is connected. Okay, so this is how you can start your collaboratory or collab notebook. And the way you start your Jupyter notebook is by going to this. So I will just go to my location where I have all the notebooks available, and over here I can open a Python notebook. Okay, so over here you can basically you can change the name like this, Day-1 live. Okay, now let's try to play around with it. So let's try to understand and play around with it. So first of all, let's try to print something. Now in Python, if you wanted to print something, you will just write print and then whatever way you wanted to print it. So let's say I wanted to print hello world, and then you run it, you will get what you wanted to print. So it is as simple as this. You just write print and then whatever you want to print. Okay, so guys, I want all of you to either open the Google Colab notebook or the Jupyter notebook, so that you guys can work along with me. So once you are done with opening Jupyter notebook or Google Colab notebook, please inform me on the chat section, so that I can move forward. I can move ahead with discussion. So once you are done, please reply me on the chat section. Okay, so now uh, now let's try to work with more functionalities related to Python. So now what we can do in Python, even you can put your comments. So let's say you wanted to put a comment. So for putting a comment, you put a hashtag first of all, and then you write a comment. So this is a comment. Okay, now like the advantage of writing a comment is that your comment will not be getting executed along with your code. So this is my comment, and if I run this, only hello world will be getting printed, but not this comment. Okay, so comment are very useful when it comes to tagging your code, and maybe it is always a good practice to comment your code, so that if you are giving your notebook to somebody else or some other some other developer, they can easily understand your code flow. So it is always good to put a comment. Now with comment you can also put some headers. So there is something known as markdown. Now if you go to this tab, and if you click on this markdown, you can put your markdown comment. So if you put a hashtag over here, and then if you write something, so this is level 1 heading. Similarly you can again go to markdown and you can put your level 2 heading. So this is level 2. So if you put hashtag for 2 times, this will become level 2. If you again go to markdown and put for hashtag for 3 times, this will become level 3. So likewise you can keep on creating the levels. You can also create some pointers, like some points. So let's say you wanted to create some pointers, you can just click hyphen and then you can write point number 1, point 1, then hyphen point 2, then hyphen point 3, and so on. So these are the pointers. So now the advantage of using this functionality with this Jupyter notebook is that this is very useful for formatting your code. Now if you are working on a project, and if you wanted to share your project with some other team, it is always good to format your code so that they can easily understand your code. Okay. Now this functionality doesn't comes with Java or any other programming language, but it comes with this Python. Now this Jupyter is a platform. So this Jupyter platform can run your Python, even it can run your R language. So this is an advantage of this Jupyter platform. Similarly this Colab platform, currently it is running with Python, but you can run it with R also. So you need to individually install R for that particular purpose. Okay. Now let's try to work on some let's try to understand the variables, or the data structures that are available. Now in Python there are 3 major data structures. So let me use the comment, the markdown comment. So what are the data structures that we have in Python? So number 1, we have what is known as a string. Then second one, we have what is known as integer, and the third one we have what is known as float. So when I talk about a string basically refers to something that we can, it's a textual thing, right? Any data that is text can be formatted in terms of string. So you if you wanted to mention any string, you just put double quotes or single quote, and then you can write whatever you want. So this is my first class on Python. Similarly for integer is basically something that is in numbers, so like 1, 2, 12, 13, then 14, and so on. And regarding float is like decimal numbers, 12.3, 13.3 or 13.4 and 15.09. So these are your major, or maybe the basic data structures in Python. Now we have something also that is known as object. So we have something known as object also. Now if I talk about object in Python, we have list object, we have tuple object, we have dictionaries, we have sets. Now these things are known as object. Now object is something that collects these data structures. So a collection of data structure will create your object. So you collect all these data structure and put it into some object, put it together, it will become an object. Okay. So let's try to look at some examples regarding a string. Okay. So we have, let's say, a variable known as a. Now what is this? This is known as a variable because it is holding your data structure. So a is equal to, let's say, 12, and if I run it, you can see that there is a 3 number coming over here. That basically means I have run this code third time, or maybe so this was code number 1, so I have run it for 2 times. That's why 1 2, and this is 3. So it is nothing but a execution number that is given after each in front of each code cell. It is very easy uh, to basically understand whether you have run the code or not. So this is a is equal to 12. We have already run it. Now if you wanted to check what is the value of a, you just print a. So you are getting 12, or either you can just put a and it will return you 12. So this is what you get once you print the variable. Now a is a variable. Remember this, a is a variable. So let me write it over here. A is a variable. Okay, and similarly this is returning you the output. So this is the returned output, and here you are printing the value of a. So here we are printing the value of a. Okay, now similarly I can create so this was an integer, a is an integer, so a contains integer value. Now if you want to check whether this is an integer or something else, you can use the type functionality. You can say type of a. Now this will return you integer. That basically means a consists of a integer number, and the data structure or the data type of this variable a is integer. Okay, similarly I can create a float number or maybe a string. So to create a string, you just put double quotes or single quotes, and then you can write whatever you wanted to write. So let's say Python class 1, and now you run it, and now if you check the type of b, you will see that it is a string. So str stands for string, int stands for integer. Now you print a, if you print b, you will get something like this without quote output. So there are no quotes that are visible to you right here. And if you print b, if you just put b and run it, you will get Python class 1. Now how I am running it, sorry for that, I forgot to tell you how I am running this code. So to run this code, you use what is known as control plus not control, okay, enter, shift plus enter. So this key, these two keys can be used to run the code. Okay, or either what you can do, if you don't want it to run this shortcut, you can click on this cell and you can then go to this run button, and that will run your code. So either you can shift enter, or go to this cell and just click on this run. Clear? Is everyone clear till this point? Is everyone clear? Any questions? Okay, so let's get started with the talking about. Okay, so now if you look at this, we have created a integer object. So no, this is an integer variable. This is basically your string variable. Now let's create a float variable. So 12.2. And now if I print 12. Let's run it 12.2. Now if I check the type of 12.2 or check the type of C, you will get float. Similarly, if you print C, you will get 12.2, or you can just run C. Okay. Now if you wanted to check that how many variables you have created in your notebook, there is a very cool command. It is also known as magic command. So let me put the heading, or maybe the comment, magic command, which is known as percent whos, WHOS, percent, and after this you write whos. Now this will basically return you a summary table with the variable, the type, and the data or the information about the variable. So variable A is an integer with data type as 12. Variable B is a string with data type with the data as Python class 1, and variable C is a float with data as 12.2. So percent whos can be used to check how many variables you have created into your current notebook, and then you can accordingly change the, or maybe it happens a lot that you have created so many variables but you don't know which variable consists of which information. So this command can be used to check all those information. Okay. So these were my basic data structures, which are integer, string, and float. Now let's talk about the object, the first object, which is your list. Now to create a list, to create a list, so to create a list, we use the square brackets. So if I wanted to create a list, I will say, let's say L is equal to, and then I can mention some numbers, I can mention some other list, I can mention a string, I can mention a float value, let's say 14.5, and so on. So if you run it, and if you again check L, you have this list. Also if you check the type of L, this type will be, this will be your list. Now what are lists? First of all, so lists are the objects in Python that can consist your data. So you remember that if you wanted to hold something, you need a data, you need a structure. Now if you wanted to hold water, you need a glass. If you wanted to hold something, you need something, right? If you wanted to hold petrol, you need a container, right? Similarly, if you wanted to hold data into your into Python, you need some data structure, and the collection of data structures will create an object. Now lists are the objects that can hold multiple data structures. So it can either hold a list, it can either hold any other object, it can either hold your integer number, it can either hold your float number, it can either hold your string values, it can hold anything. So it's like if you wanted to hold something in Python, the very basic object that is available is list. Okay. So we have created this list. Now there are many functions that we can use on top of a list. So number one thing, I can check the length of a list, or maybe first of all let's check whether list is added to my whos command or not. So you can see that we have a variable L that consists of a list, and n is equal to 6 basically means it consists of 6 elements. So this is element number 1, this is element number 2, this is element number 3, this is element number 4, this is element number 5, and this is element number 6. So we have 6 elements in this list. Now if you wanted to find the length of this list, so length of a list, you can just use length command, len, that will return you the length of the list. So len, L will give you the length of the list. Okay. So we have this length. Now we can do various things. So one thing is length, okay, length. Then next thing that what we can do, we can work with selecting or indexing. Now what is the meaning of selecting or indexing and or slicing? So let's say you have this list and you wanted to extract, let's say, this list. So how you can do it in Python? And let's say you wanted to extract this thing, or let's say you wanted to extract this thing. So we use a mechanism known as indexing. Okay, so let me just guide you what is indexing. So let's take an example. Let's say we have this list which has some elements, let's say 1 2 3, then 1 2 3, then you have hello, and then you have 12.3. okay, this is 12.3. now let me use a different color. Now this thing, so in list, so there is something known as index. This is something known as index number. Now what is index number? So index number basically provides the number, a identifier number to each element of your list. So this number 1 will be identified with a number known as 0, then this is 1, this is 2, this complete thing is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. So in Python, indexing always starts with a 0. Indexing always starts with a 0. okay, and we have this 0, then we have 1, so then we have 2, then we have 3, then we have 4, and then finally we have 5. Similarly, if I talk about this list, this internal list, this will have index number 0, this will be having 1, and this will be having 2. Similarly, if I talk about hello, this will be index number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So for string numbers, for string data structures, let's say I wrote I love Python. Now in this particular string, it will start with an index number of 0, so this is 0. When we have a space, so this will be 1, this will be 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. Again we have a space, so 6, then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So if you wanted to extract any number or any alphabet from this particular string, you can use these numbers. So index is something that is used to extract the particular element from a particular data structure or data object in Python. So any data object or any data structure in Python will always be having this particular index numbers. okay, and index number always starts with a 0. So let's say my list L is given as, or maybe I can use the same code. So let's say this is my list L. One second. So let's say this is L. Now if I wanted to extract this element, I'll just say L, then square brackets. So what is the index number? It is 2. So this will return me 3. If I wanted to extract this thing, I'll just say L, then this is the number, the index number is 3. So here I will use 3, and this will return me 1, 2, and 3. If I write L of 4, it will return me hello. Then I will write L of 5, it will return me 12.3. So this particular number which I am using over here is known as index, and this will always be used to extract any element. So these are your elements. This is element, this is element, and if you wanted to extract any element from a list, you will be required to use this particular index number to extract the particular element. Okay, so now let's look some examples over Python so that we can understand it in a better way. So let's create a list. So let's create a list. A is equal to, maybe we have created it. Okay, here we have L is equal to this, so I don't need to even copy it. I'll just say L. L. So here we have the list. Okay, guys, do you have any questions till this point? Do you have any questions? Yeah, Naved, we will talk about how to change the order and all, and yeah, Surbi, we will look into. I will just show you in Google Colab also. No need to worry. I hope no one is having any questions till this point. Okay, so let's get begin with with working with the strings. Sorry, indexing. Also, if you wanted to work on Google Colab, you will work the same way. So let's create a list over here also. So L is equal to, let's copy the list. And again, simply you can shift and enter to run it. Now you check L, that will return you the list. Okay, so the way you work in Google Colab will be the same way you work in Jupyter Notebook. Okay, now if I wanted to extract this element which is at 0 index, I will say L of 0. So L, then square bracket and 0. 0 is the index number. So this is index number 0, this is index number 1, this is index number 2, this is index number 3, this is index number 4, and this is 5. So L of 0 will return me 1, because that is the first element from my list L. So L of 0 is 1. If I wanted to extract the second element, you will write L of 1, that will be 2. So this is my second element. If I write L of let's say 3, so what will be the output for L of 3? Guys, what will be the output for L of 3? So L of 3 is going to be this element, which is 1, 2, 3. So this is element number 0, this is index 1, this is index 2, and this is index number 3. So the answer that you will get is 1, 2, 3. Remember this thing, this is 0, index number 0, index number 1, index number 2, index number 3, index number 4, and index number 5. So if you are writing L of 3, you will get 1, 2, 3, because this is at your index number 3. Okay, now so this was writing the index with numbers. Let's say you wanted to slice it. So let's say you wanted to extract from this particular number, which is element number 1, to this element. So if you wanted to extract, let's say 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So you don't want to extract the complete list, but only this list. So how you can do this? You will write starting from 0 and going till this point. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So I'll write 0 is 2, 3. So is 2 basically means that you are you are providing a range. So is2 means you are providing a range. So this colon just that you are getting is also known as is2. So 0 is to 3. Now if you look at here, you can see that I am only getting 1, 2, 3. I am not getting this 1, 2 and 3, which is another list. Now the reason you are not getting it, because in indexing, in Python, in indexing, the last index, or the left side index is not considered. So if I am saying I wanted to extract from 0 to 3, the third element will not be considered. So this will be considered, this will be considered. So this is my 0, this is 1, this is 2, but third element will not be considered. So that's the reason I am getting up to 3. So if you wanted to extract this one thing also, which is a list, I need to write 4 over here. So then only I will get this complete list from this point till this point. Okay. Now if I wanted to extract, let's say from this point till this hello, I will write L of this is 0, 1, 2. So L of 2 is 2. Then so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will write L of 2 is 2, 5, because I need to include this and this. So this is included, but this is not included. Remember this. So you are getting 3, 1, 2, 3 and hello. Clear? Guys, is everyone clear with indexing and slicing? Is everyone clear with indexing? Okay. Now if you have understood this 0 is to 4, there is one more method that I can use. I can even ignore writing 0. I can just say is to 4. So when you don't write something, that basically means you are considering the first most index. So if you don't write something, that basically means start from the very starting. So it's empty start means that it starts from the very starting and goes up to the fourth element. But since 4 is not included, so we will start from 0, 1, 2 and 3. So I'll get again this answer, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But here I have not written 0, and this is completely optional whether you wanted to write this or not. So if you are not writing, that basically means start from the very starting. Now if you don't write something and you just put is 2, that basically means start from very starting and go up to the very end. So it will return you the complete list, that is something like this. So it's a complete list, that basically means start from very starting, go up to the complete end. Okay. Now this is your forward indexing, but there is something that is also known as negative indexing. So let me just tell you what is negative indexing. So the way we have forward indexing, that is what we have seen over here. This is my forward indexing, which is starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have what is known as negative indexing. So negative indexing starts from -1. So -1, then this is known as -2, then this is known as -3, this is known as -4, this is -5, and this is -6. So these are known as your negative indexing. Negative indexing. And this is known as your positive indexing, or positive index. Okay. So if you just write L of -1, you will get the last element, which is 12.3. If you write L of -2, you will get hello. If you write L of let's say -5 is to -1, what will be the output, guys? L of -5 is to -1. guys, what will be the output for this -5 to -1? So this is -5, this is my -1. So what I will get over here, the output? So -5 is basically your 2. So I will get starting from 2, then after this I have 3, then I have 1 2 3, which is a list, then I have hello. Now remember this -1 will not be included, so this is included, but this is not included. So that's the reason you will get this 2, then 3, then 1 2 3, which is a list, and then hello. Okay, so you will not get -1 because this is not included. So if I go back to my Python notebook, now if I write L of -1, I will get the last element, which is 14.5. So if I again print my L, so this is my L, this is last element. So for last element I will get 14.5. Now if I write L of -2, I will get, sorry, A of my L of -2, I will get hello, because this is -2. Now if I write L of -5 to -1, I will get 2 3 1 2 3 and hello. I will not get this 14.5 because this is not included. This will be included, this will not be included. Now remember guys, you can't write this -1 is to -5. You can't write this, you will get empty list. Why you can't write this? Because indexing always works from this particular point to this particular point by default. By default indexing works from, so by default indexing works from left to right. So by default it works from left to right. So here we are going from right to left, and that is the reason you will not get the output. You are getting an empty list. So if you wanted to get the output using even negative indexing, you need to go from left to right, and then you will get the output. Now we can change this also. How we can change this? So to do this thing, we need to use what is known as step size. So now what is a step size? So let's go back to the example over here. Now if I write my code as L of 1 is to 3 is to, or maybe 1 is to 4, let's say 0 is to 4. So 0 is to 4 is to 2. So this is your start index, this is your end index, and this is your step size. Okay, so now my start index is 0, so this particular indexing will return me 1. Then I will take the second element. So since my step size is 2, I will start from 1, but I will now skip the second element. I will take this element. So then I will go with 3, and then I will skip this and I will take this. Now this is not taken because fourth element will not be included, so this is not included. So you will get the output as 1, 3 only. Are you getting this point or not? So let's take one more example. Let's say I have a list 1 2 3 4 5 6, and this is L1 is equal to this index number 0 1 2 3 4 5. These are my index numbers, these are my elements. Now if I write L1 of 0 is to 4 is to 2, so what will be the output? Number 1, I will start from 0. Since this is included, I will write 1. Then I will go to the second element. So I will take all the second element, the every second element. So this is my second element. So 0, 1, 2, second element. So I will keep on leaving one element in between. Then I will leave this element and I will take this element. Now I can't take this element because this fourth index is not included. So I will only get 1 and 2, and that will be my output. Okay. Yes, you can write L of 1 is to minus 3. You can write this. This is correct. Okay, this is correct. So let's look at the example of Python. So let's first of all look at a simple example. This is my L. Now if I write L 0 is to 5 or 4 is to 2, you are getting 1 comma 3. Why? Because this is my 0th element. Then this is my, I will leave one element in between because every second element I need to take. So first element, then every second element is this, and then this part. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Since 4 is not included, I can't take this part. So that's why you will get 1 and 3. Okay. You can do something like this also. Let's say 2 is to 2. Now what will be the output of this particular code? 2 is 2, and then I have not entered any value, and is to 2. What will be the output of this particular command? Guys, please write on the chat section. Okay, so I will start from 2, and if I have not written anything, that basically means I will go up to the end. So this is my 0th element, this is 1, this is 2. So I will get what is known as 3. So first of all I will get a 3. Then I will leave one element, then I will get hello. And after this I don't have the, so I need to leave this. I don't have any other element. So that basically means this will be my output. So let's run it. So 3 and hello. Okay. Now there is something that is known as negative step also. Negative step. What is the meaning of negative step? Negative step means you can work on the step size in negative direction. So by default, you know that by default the indexing works from right to left, left to right. But if we use a negative step size, we can work on indexing from right to left. Okay. So basically what I'm trying to say, if I write L of 0 is to minus 1, now what will be the output of this? Just look at here. You are extracting the complete list. So I am writing is to, that basically means start from the very starting, go up to the very end. But here I am writing minus 1, that basically means my indexing will work from right to left. So I will start from right end and I will go to the left end. So that's why your complete list is reversed now. Okay. Now if I write L of minus 1 is 2, minus 1 is 2, minus 5 is 2 minus 1. Now what will be the output of this code? Minus 1 is 2 minus 5 is 2 minus 1. Guys, okay, so what is minus 1 first of all? So this is my list L. Let's print list L. Now minus 1 is this, minus 5. So minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. Now minus 5 will not be included. So, and since I have written minus 1, that basically means my indexing will start from the right end and I will go up to the left end. And minus 5 will not be included, so I will this output will return me 14.5, hello, 1 2 3 and 3. This will not be included, so let's run it. So you are getting 14.5, hello, 1 2 3 and 3. Okay, so this is your negative indexing. This is known as your negative indexing. And this was something which was known as your, so this was your positive indexing. So this side was positive indexing. Clear? Is everyone clear with indexing part? Is everyone clear with the indexing part? Okay, now guys, this is the activity that we are going to do. So this is the question that you need to solve. So please solve question number 1, then question number 2 and question number 3, and send me your code in the chat window. So I have this input list which is having these elements. So this is my input list. Now using this input list, first of all you need to find out the length of the second element of the list. So which is my second element, or maybe the third element, or maybe let's say second element. So this is element number 1, this is element number 2. So I need to find the length of the second element. So can you find the length of this element, rat? How you will find it? Just return me the code for it. Use the chat window to send me a code. Similarly, the next question is to find the character S from the given listing. So this is your character S. Now how you can find this character S? And finally you have the character D, which is over here. Try to solve this and then let me know. Okay, so your first question is correct. You will just write L of input list, and then you will mention uh, what is your second element. So your second element is 0, so this is 0th, and this is 1. So you'll write L of 1, input list of 1. This will return you lat, and then you can find out the length of it using length command, len. So find the length, and this way you will get the length of your second element. Okay, now I need to print character s from the given list. So this is my character s. First of all, I need to extract this element. So I will write L of 0, input list of 0. So this will return me mouse. Now if you wanted to extract let's say s from it, you can again use one more square bracket, and you can provide the index value. So this is index number -1, this is index number -2. So I'll just write -2. So this is my s. Then access the character d using negative indexing. So this is -1. So if I write input list of -1, I will get the last element, which is b, d and g, and I need to extract this one. So I will write -2. So I have character d. Is everyone clear? Is everyone clear with all the three questions? Is there any doubt? Okay, now let's try to work on some functions that are provided, that we can work on with lists. So let's try to understand some functions that are available for lists. So number one, the function that is available to us is known as the append command. So let me print L. This is my list L. Now if we want to add something, so add new element to a list, we use what is known as append command. So if I write L dot append, and then if I mention the new element, so let's say I wanted to append my name Sumit. Now if I again run L, you can see that Sumit is appended at the leftmost at the left side, the left extreme of your string of your list. So this append function will always add the new element in the leftmost side, so that it will not touch any of it, but it will always append on the leftmost side. Similarly, there is something known as insert. So L dot insert. Now using insert command, you can mention the index number. So let's say I wanted to insert Sumit over here in this place. So I can write insert the index number and the element Sumit Shukla. So now if I run IL, you can see that Sumit is inserted at the first index value. So insert command takes two input. First input is your index position, where you wanted to insert the command, or to insert the element, the new element, and then your the second input is your new element. Okay, so we have these two inputs for this insert command. First one is your index position and the second one is your new element. Now using append, you can always add a new element at the leftmost side of the list, but using insert you can insert a new element to a particular location based on this index position. So you can choose the index position according to you, and then you can insert the element. Okay, so these were two things regarding insert. Now uh, let's try to understand about removing a element. So how we can remove a element? So we have two commands. The way we have two commands for adding. So for adding we have append and we have insert. For removing we have what is known as pop and remove. Pop and remove. Now if I say L dot pop, if I say L dot pop, L dot pop, and if I don't mention anything into these parentheses, so it will always remove the leftmost side of the element in the list. Now if I again check L, it has removed the last element. If I again run L dot pop, it will again remove the last element, the leftmost side of the element in the list, and you have 14.5 that is returned. So pop basically can remove any element from a list, and it is a permanent way. So this operation is permanent operation, and this will remove element based on the index value. Okay, so if I wanted to remove Sumit Shukla, I can just say L dot pop, and then the index number is 0 and 1, so I will write 1. Now it will return me Sumit Shukla, and if I check L, you can see that Sumit is not there over here. Okay, so pop functionality is a permanent functionality, and it will take input as your index number. So which element you wanted to remove, you need to provide the index number of that particular element, and then it will remove that particular element from your list. Then you have this remove functionality. Now this remove functionality is it will take your element name instead of index position. It will take your element name, and it is a temporary operation. So this is not a permanent operation, it is a temporary operation, and it can if you wanted to save this operation, you need to create a new list, or you need to override the list. So if I write L dot remove, let's say I want to remove hello, so I will write hello. Now if you check L, oh sorry, it's not a temporary operation, this is also a permanent operation. This is also a permanent operation. So the only difference between pop and remove is pop is a index based operation which takes the index value, whereas remove is a it is a name based operation which takes the element name. So now if I wanted to remove, let's say, this list, I can just say L dot remove, and my list, complete list, 1 comma 2 comma 3, and now if I check L, I will only have this 3 elements. So these are the two operations to remove an element. These are the two operations to add a new element. Clear? Is everyone clear with remove and add? Is everyone clear? uh, remove is basically your name based method. Now if you look at here, the pop functionality is taking the index number. So if I need to remove something from my list, I need to basically mention the index number. And remove, in case of remove, I need to mention the complete name. So let's say I have a new list, L is equal to Sumit, then comma Python, then comma session, then comma with, then comma Sumit. Now if I wanted to remove, let's say I want to remove Python. So what I can do, I can just say L dot remove, and over here I will mention Python. Over here I will mention Python. Now if you check L, you will be getting a list which is without Python. But if you use pop, you need to mention the index position. So let's say you wanted to remove let's say Sumit. So you will say L of 0, and then you will basically get only 3 elements, which is session with Sumit. Okay, I think we can do it. So let's check. L dot remove, mention it in a form of a list. So let's say with comma Sumit. No, we can't do that. It takes X is not a list. So we can't do that. We need to mention the element name only. We can only remove one element at a time. Okay, so we can only remove okay, Sumit is S capital, yeah. So here we have session with. Clear? Is everyone clear with these two commands, which is pop and remove, and append and insert? Also you have found out one more thing. Then whenever you are using pop, it is returning you the output. But if you are using remove, it is not returning you the output. So this is also one of the difference. Pop returns you the output whichever element you are removing, while remove doesn't remove returns you anything. It will just remove the element from the list, and both are the permanent operations. Your element will be permanently removed from your list. Clear? Now this was regarding your append and remove and pop and so now let's learn about let's maybe solve some question first of all. So this is your list, which is input list 1 3 new 1 12.3 1 2 3 and old, and your output should be this. So this is your output that you need to generate: 1 comma 3 comma new 1 3 and old. So you need to remove this thing, and you need to remove this. So please write the code to remove this, to get this expected output. This is your list. This is your input list, and we need output that is 1 comma 3 comma new, then you have 1 comma 3, and then you have old. So this is what you need to return. Just try to write the code for this. Okay, let me paste it. I don't know whether I can do it or not. Yes, I can do it. Acha, okay. Guys, I am waiting for your response. Okay, I have received only one response till now. Okay, so let me try to solve this. Let me guide you. So input list. Now I need to remove, just try to observe. I need to remove this element first of all. So first of all we can remove this element. So I'll just say dot remove 12.3. Okay. So then after this I can again use input list. And now I need to remove this element which is 1. So for this element to remove 1, I will first of all move into, like, I will need to index this particular list. So I will go to element list number -2, and then I will remove 1 from it. So remove 1, and now I can check my output, which is input list. So now you can see that I have 1 3 new, 2 3. Sorry. Uh, this should be 0. Okay. After we have removed this, just check this thing. Once we remove 12.3, this is 0th element. So -1, -2, and then why this is not working? Let's use pop instead of this then. Pop -2. Yeah. Okay. So this is how you can do this. Is everyone clear with this? Okay. Now let's talk about sorting the list. Let's talk about sorting the list. So how we can sort this list? So let's say I have a list that is something like this. A, so let's say B is equal to, or L1 is equal to L1 is equal to, we have a list something like random numbers 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, 9, 0, 1, 2, 6, 8, 9, 3, 4. So we have this list. Okay, now let's say you wanted to sort this list. So we have two mechanisms to sort. Either you can either we can use sort functionality, dot sort functionality, or I can use sorted. So again we have two mechanisms, sort and sorted. Now let's try to understand the difference between both of them. If I write L1 dot sort, and if you check L1, you can see that your list is sorted. Now this sort function is a permanent operation, while your sorted function is a temporary operation. So now let me put this in comment, and let me again run it L1. Now if I check sort, so what is my L1 currently? My L1 is again a random number, like list in unordered numbers. So if I say sorted L1, you can see that it is sorted and it is returning you the sorted list. But if I again check L1, you can see that it is not sorted. So sorted function will return you the sorted output, but it will not overwrite your existing list. But if you use sort functionality, L1 dot sort, this is a permanent operation. It will overwrite your existing list, and the result in L1 will be sorted. Okay, so sorted and sort both are doing the same thing, but sort is a permanent operation while sorted is not a permanent operation. It will just return you the sorted list and it will not overwrite your existing list. Okay, so this was regarding your sort. Now there is something which is known as okay, so let's try to solve a question using this. So this is my nested list, and you need to sort this and you need to generate this output. So how you can do this? So I have shared the nested list. You need to generate this output, which is 2, 8, 9, 1, 2, 6 and 3, 5, 7. Guys, please share your responses on the chat section. So let me give you a hint. What you can do, you can sort each sublist one by one, and then reverse the list. So you can do this thing, sort each sublist one by one and then reverse the list. Yes, Sheikh, that's correct. You need to apply it multiple times. Yes, correct, for each index. So let me just try. Let me just explain you. We have this list known as nested list. In nested list, you first of all extract the zeroth element. Okay, nested is not defined. First of all, let me copy this over here. So this is my zeroth list, and I will sort this thing. Now remember, sort is a permanent operation. So my zeroth list will be sorted. Then nested list, the first element, which is again a list, and this will again be sorted. And then nested list, the second element, and it will be sorted. So sort. Now if you run this, and if you now check your nested list, you can see that these elements, which is 3 5 7, 1 2 6, and 8 to 9, sorry 2 8 9, they are sorted now, but they are not in this order in which we want. So we wanted to basically reverse this. Now to reverse this, I can either you can do something like this. So this will reverse, or what you can do, you can use the reverse functionality. So you can use reverse function. Reverse. Now remember guys, reverse is a permanent function. Again, reverse is a permanent function. So reverse is a permanent function, and once you apply this reverse, you will get, so this particular list will be permanently sorted, will be permanently reversed in this order. So this is temporary, but this is permanent. Okay, is it everyone clear? Is everyone clear? Okay, let's try to solve one more question. So this is my input sample list, sample input. So this is my sample input, and now we need to print reverse of a list after deleting the second largest element. So my second largest element is 22. I need to reverse this list, and I need to remove or delete 22. So this should be the output of the list. 1 8 44 3 17, 22 should be removed. Yeah, Sheikh Munna Sheikh, that's correct. Uh, your your sorted function is a temporary function. Yes, you are. That's correct. So what we can do, we can first of all say sample input. So let me first of all copy my sample input over here. And then I can say sample input Then I need to remove the second element, so I'll just say dot remove, or maybe I can say dot pop, whether whatever way you want. So remove 22, and then I can reverse the list. So sample input dot reverse. So now if you check your sample input list, you can see the list is in the same order as what we want. Clear? Is everyone clear with this question? Is everyone clear? Munna Sheikh, we will learn about this, how to do this, how to find the second largest element without manually identifying it. We will try to find it. What you can do, even there is a way to do this. Let me show you. I can we can do it. We can do it. So I can first of all say sorted input list, sample input. Now once you say sorted sample input, you know that this is going to be sorted in ascending order. Now from this you can find out the second last element, which is your second largest element. So minus 2 will give you 22. You save this element into a key. Let's say key is equal to this, and now you can use this key to remove from your sample input. So sample input dot remove key, and now you can again write sample input dot reverse. So now if you check your sample input, it will be the same output. Okay, so you can do something like this. First you sort your sample input list, then you take the second last element, because the last element will be the largest element and the second last element is the second largest element. Clear? So this is what you can do if you have a very large list. Is everyone clear with this topic now? So guys, that's it for today's session. We have completed, so let me give you a walkthrough about what we did in today's session. So we started learning with what is Python, why we need Python. Then we talk about the three major data structures that are available in Python, that are your string, integer and float. We looked at each one of these examples. We also looked at how we can find the summary of all the variables that are present in your Python session. Then we looked at the first data object, which is list, and then we tried to understand what are the various ways in which I can index a list. I can slice a list, or I can select a element from a list. We looked at the positive indexing and negative indexing. Then we looked at some examples. Then we looked at some functions such as append or insert. These two functions are used to add a new element to a list. Then we looked at pop and remove, which is what used for removing an element from a list. Then we looked at how we can sort a list. So again, sort and sorted, there were two functions. Sort was permanent, sorted was temporary. And then we looked at finally these two examples. So this was what we did today. Okay, so guys, this is what we will take a pause at this moment, and at the same time we can join back tomorrow. So tomorrow we will going to talk about the other data structures that are other data objects that are tuple, dictionaries and sets. And if you like this session, I will just request you to please post in your LinkedIn profile tagging me. So my account is LinkedIn slash S Sumit Shukla. So LinkedIn. Um, so my profile is S Sumit Shukla, and if you like this session, you can tag me on your post with the feedback about this session. So that will be really helpful for me um, to basically uh, to basically work on all more of such sessions. Okay, and this is my profile, linkedin.com/in/s Sumit Shukla. Okay, so guys, thank you for joining this session. Have a great night, and we will meet tomorrow.